Hi, thanks for tuning in to listen to a preview of the readings coming up for this Sunday, February 11th, the Transfiguration of Our Lord. The Sundays after Epiphany began with Jesus' baptism and end with the three disciples' vision of his transfiguration. In Mark's story of Jesus' baptism, apparently only Jesus sees the Spirit descending and hears the words from heaven. But now Jesus' three closest friends hear the same words, naming him God's beloved. As believers, Paul writes, we are enabled to see the God light in Jesus' face because the same God who created light in the first place has shone in our hearts to give us that vision. The light of God's glory in Jesus has enlightened us through baptism and shines in us also for others to see. Our first reading comes from 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. A little background on 2 Kings. This book narrates the career of the 9th century prophet Elisha, beginning with Elijah's ascension to God and the transfer of his authority to Elisha. This ascension takes place at the Jordan, where Elijah divides the waters, a reminder of the story of Moses. As they travel together, Elijah and Elisha retrace the path of Joshua back to Moab, the place where Moses died. We also see the parting of the waters, demonstrating that Elisha and Elijah are legitimate successors of Moses. Our second reading comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 3 through 6. This passage is all about putting the spotlight on Jesus, not on those that carry out the Christian ministry. Just as God made light shine at creation, God makes the light of Jesus Christ shine in our lives through the work we do. I'm drawn to the version of this reading from the Message. The lesson is clear. Remember, our message is not about ourselves. We're proclaiming Jesus Christ, the Master. All we are is messengers, errand runners from Jesus for you. It started when God said, "Light up the darkness," and our lives filled up with light as we saw and understood God in the face of Christ, all bright and beautiful. And our gospel reading comes from Mark chapter 9, verses 2 through 9. Peter, James, and John are witness to the awe-inspiring transfiguration of Jesus. Mark's gospel presents the transfiguration as a preview of what would become apparent to Jesus' followers after he rose from the dead. Confused disciples are given a vision of God's glory manifest in the beloved Son. Just as Moses, who represents the law, and Elijah, who represents the prophets, ascended to God at their death, so will Jesus. Again, we're reminded of Moses with the imagery of the mountain, the light, the cloud, and the voice denoting God's presence, just as on Sinai. Such strong visual references are given in these readings. As an artist, I'm always visualizing what I read in picture form: colors, shapes, shading, perspective, dimension. It made me curious to investigate how other artists have interpreted the Transfiguration. As I finish this message, I've included some of the artwork I found while preparing. I hope you enjoy. The Transfiguration is a holy mystery. The timeless nature of spiritual transformation and the ongoing work of God's Spirit exists in the lives of believers. While we may not fully comprehend the details of miraculous events from the past, such as the Transfiguration, we can still trust in the enduring presence of God's Spirit and its ability to bring about personal transformation in our lives today. We need not understand everything in order to recognize the beauty of God's work, resonating with a broader theme in spirituality, where faith and trust in God's goodness and sovereignty play a central role. We are encouraged as believers to focus on our own spiritual journey and openness to the transformative work of the Holy Spirit, rather than getting caught up in trying to rationalize or explain every aspect of divine mysteries. Have a blessed week.